Night of the Living podcast is always ad-free for patrons at patreon.com/NOTLP.
Welcome back to Night of the Living podcast. It's Hispanic Heritage Month, and Lewis Fowler is here with us.
Yay, me.
Yeah! He's curated this month or this series of podcast programming.
Yeah.
This is Amy here
Hi.
to my left. Andy's across from me.
Hi.
And Freddy.
Feeling dynamic.
Feeling dynamic. And
Dynamic.
we're going to be talking about a movie called The Darkness or Los Tinieblas.
It's one of many movies called The Darkness.
It is. Yeah, this one's from 2016.
Because when you search it,
Which is also from 2016, the other Darkness.
Yeah, so there is another 2016 Darkness. Yeah, so this is the Spanish, Mexican, French. Yeah. Mexican and French. That's an odd combination for some reason to me. Who knows?
Sounds delicious.
Frexican
It does sound like good food.
or Mensch.
Mensch. That's
Mensch
different.
is perfect. But yeah, we'll be talking about that film a little later on. Earlier this month, what have we done so far? Let's quick rundown.
Oh,
The Old Ways.
The Old Ways,
Madres.
Madres, The Lift, and now The Darkness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And these are all relatively newer films.
Yeah. That's from like about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
10 years ago.
Yeah. So I tried some of the past decade, the new movies.
Yeah. I think anything within the last 10 years to me is brand new.
Considering my habits run to old,
Yeah.
this is all like, oh, it's too new.
And these would all be considered like current era
Yeah.
kind of style horror films.
Yeah, very much
and
so.
Speculative sci-fi-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting choices, but I kind of miss the old movies that Lewis used to pick where we had to scramble to find it.
More camp.
And,
Or couldn't find one with subtitles.
yeah, we had to just figure out what they were saying on our own.
Next year I promise to do a scramble for you.
Here we go. We'll find some.
Narco Satanicos 2, Electric Boogaloo. Look that movie up. It's a good time.
Yeah, it is.
Wanted to mention patreon.com/NOTLP, which is where we put all our extra content, and you can get some merch there as well. We haven't recorded a new Topicana. That's one of our bonus shows that also shows up in the main feed a week later. Just because we were going to do it, and then we moved the time, and then I lost power, and I didn't have power for a while because of Helene. And so that's why that didn't go out this week like it should have. So we'll catch up.
We were laughing because our friends in Florida did not lose power, and they were directly, they were dealing with it, in a much more obvious way. But somehow,
Cincinnati, Ohio.
all the way up here.
I am as inland as I can be.
Yeah.
But it was nice. We had a drought for the last month.
Yeah, we needed the rain.
But I'm sorry you lost electricity, but thankful for the water.
I guess.
Yeah.
We don't have to have it all at once. You know what I'm saying?
I had all this meat, and it's gone.
Oh, Freddy's meat.
It made me real sad. Throw all that meat in the garbage.
Could you have gone to get some ice and put it in a cooler?
I didn't have my cooler. This is a very boring story, but my cooler was broken, and I just threw it out like within the past week, and I haven't bought a new one yet.
That was a cooler break.
It's outside for 2 years.
Too long.
How do you break it? I stuffed it full of ice cream and fish, and it just couldn't take it.
And thought it was disgusting.
It committed suicide.
We're all about 45 years old, 46. Those are good stories for people like us.
I need to have
My
a
cooler story.
If I was in my 20s, I'd be like, that story sucked. now it's relatable.
There's actually that cooler was the same cooler that Gage from Pet Cemetery. What's his name?
Dude, that is an old ass cooler.
He was sitting on it. We took it to Horror Hound.
Miko Hughes.
Yeah, I remember because I had
Sat on
he
it.
didn't like that I asked him to
And
get
then
up.
Freddy said, "Could you please get off the cooler?" And I need to leave.
I'm like, I need
And
to
you threw
take
it
that
away.
cooler.
It's not the Smithsonian.
No, I know.
We should have held on to it.
It was funny. It was a real awkward thing.
Yeah, that was a real awkward moment. I remember that.
I'm like, hey, can you get off of my cooler so I can leave?
We love to tell that story every so often if you're a longtime listener.
I think the problem was I hadn't really engaged with him outside of that. Like, I wasn't like, oh my God, you were so scary. Is that little dead boy? Instead, it was just, that was our only conversation. I think he thought I was going to ask him for his autograph. And I think it hurt his feelings. I honestly think I was somehow rude. It was somehow rude of me not to be like, oh my God, you were adorable as a baby.
Well, that's what you should. That's what you should lead with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's what I
then,
should've
can you
done.
get off my cooler, please?
No, can you please get off my
Then
cooler?
can you get off my cooler, please?
Get your adorable bottom off my cooler.
Oh, that's how you should have phrased it. Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Was there a moment where, like, when the meat was spoiling, and you're like, maybe I should cook this and eat it right away?
I started to, and Amy talked me out of it. She was
What
like,
did you do that for?
I'm not about lighting gas stoves on fire.
Yeah, the food, what was
I
it?
am a city mouse. I'm not doing anything crazy like that.
Did you barbecue to grilled it?
Well, my grill's
There was a
electric, isn't that
hurricane
funny?
outside.
I have a pellet grill now, and you have to have power to use it. But I have a gas range. I could have turned my gas range on. But Amy, we pulled up the food safety stuff.
Freddie would have kept stuff, you guys. It was,
I was ready to
almost
make
14
it.
hours.
Pork tenderloins and
I was like, babe, it's got to
Yeah.
go. I'm not dying for this. Anyway, we did have there was a moment where I
There
thought I
was
was going to have to fight you.
and I gave up. I was just like, if the government tells us, it must be true.
It's
Whatever
like
the government
it's like Homer and his sub.
Yeah.
Remember, he hid behind the furnace.
I trust a civil servant that's going to sit down and write this grid up.
I
Like,
feel that. Where did you read this from? I think they're in the pocket of Big Meat.
foodsafety.gov.
They're like, throw your meat away if it's been an hour.
They're raccoons that run it,
They
and
said
they stand outside your
6
place.
hours. So, not too
They're like, throw out your Cheetos the minute the power goes out. And then their little grubby hands
Big
are waiting
Cheeto.
for them outside.
It's the raccoons.
Yeah, big Cheeto, big raccoon.
Raccoon.
I want to adopt a raccoon and name him Big Cheeto.
You could.
It's
No, he
true.
can't.
They're
Nothing's
domesticated all the time
stopping
now.
you.
Everything is me, his existing pets,
Yeah.
nature.
When you bring a pet with hands into the equation, that's like the next level
No.
of responsibility that it's just when you have
I
a
will
pet.
be the only one
No,
with
it's like-
thumbs in my house.
Yeah.
Any animal with knuckles.
With knuckles. Yeah.
Like a lot of animals have hands, but they can't grip stuff. So I think knuckles are the.
You're like,
that's
it's the
your
line.
criteria?
Yeah.
would you adopt an animal as long as its hands were vestigial and had no
If
function
they're
whatsoever?
floppy.
You just floppy things that they can't strangle. And like that should be the question you ask when you go to adopt a pet. Can it strangle me in my sleep? And if it can,
Well, I don't think
Nobody
a
would own a
raccoon
cat.
can
a
strangle
raccoon
you.
couldn't do it with just its hands, but
Oh,
it
it
could
needs-
garrote you.
It needs like
Yeah.
some rope or something.
Yeah, it's like a shoelace. You know,
Well, that's your own fault for leaving all these garrots around.
you know.
And teaching it how. And
Yeah, they
all
watch
that.
TV though. When you domesticate an animal, it starts watching television.
No, you watch a lot of true crime too.
Yeah, and it was probably going to have all kinds of maneuvers.
It could
and
hold a
stuff.
knife. A
Yeah.
small one.
Oh,
Oh,
So cute.
he's so adorable.
Little pocket knife.
That's his name. His name is Pockets. Pockets stabbed me. Big Cheeto tried to fend him off, but he was too strong.
that was too big.
Big Cheeto's a small raccoon. It's an ironic name.
Oh.
I see.
He just likes
So,
Cheetos a lot.
if it was a big raccoon, you call him tiny.
That's tiny. Yeah, no, that's Pockets. Pockets was the big raccoon. He weighed 300 pounds.
That's a horrifically large raccoon.
Jesus God. That's a monster. That's not a raccoon.
That's like a Stephen King
That's
novel
a
right there.
cryptid. That's something that
Yeah.
belongs in tales and legends.
What's the largest raccoon ever? It's probably something like, I bet there's probably like been a 60-pound raccoon out there.
What?
Yeah, I think there is.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I
That's
believe
terrifying.
it. I mean, like, I've seen some pretty big ones when we were camping in Hocking Hills.
Because, a dog can be about 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And there's some raccoons that are way bigger than that.
Yeah, some of them are probably pretty
I
big.
don't know.
Like that rabid one that attacked that lady, and it turned into an episode of This American Life, I think, where it was her whole tale of, it was like a horror story. It was just her fighting off a rabid raccoon and telling the story. Because have you not heard this?
No.
She was parked at the end of they had like a driveway, like a very long driveway up to like a secluded house, I guess, in the woods. And this raccoon, she was unloading groceries, I think, and this raccoon came up, and it's this whole story that it's like a half-hour story on the show, and it's her fending it off, trying to make it to the house.
So it's like Cujo, except with a raccoon.
Yeah, and real, true story too. That is just, it was terrifying. It'll make you think differently. But raccoon, you'd probably tell if it's rabid right off the bat. It comes running at you
and all that.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a weird aside. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Tangent.
It's like the old show.
We're good at it. All right. Should we?
Yeah, I guess we could. Do you want to move on to
The
talk
main
about
attraction? Yes. Let's talk about the darkness in my soul, in my heart.
Turn out lights. It's the main attraction. My dogs are wet. Like, they hang out in the wet areas and then they smell.
Okay. They hang out in wet areas.
Yeah.
The yard. I want people to understand. It's just the yard. It's been raining.
Millie likes to dip her tail in their water dishes.
And then fling it all around.
Yeah.
They play games. All right.
So, this week's main attraction was Las Tinieblas from 2016, directed by Daniel Castro Zimbrón, starring Brontis Jodorowsky, who we've seen in several other movies, I think all of them by his dad. Great actor. I think also seeing him in this, seeing him as a middle-aged man with the silver beard and everything, super striking. I really got a lot out of him in this movie. He looked just magnetic.
Peter Sarsgaard.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Freddie and I both were talking about that.
Yeah, he's got real similar eyes. But this movie is very, very similar to It Comes at Night. Has everybody seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one, it almost has kind of like It Comes by Night by way of like M. Night Shyamalan. Is kind of how it felt for me.
I never seen It Comes at Night, so my comparison was A Quiet Place meets The Village.
Yeah, I could definitely see A Quiet Place.
And obviously, spoilers for this movie. Just by saying it's like The Village is a big spoiler. I don't know why I felt the need to say the thing we always do.
Because
we always spoil it.
I was kind of confused at the end because
I have no fucking clue.
Was he making up the monster? But then there is a monster?
I was a little torn too, because this movie starts, they're in this cabin. It's a father and his 3 kids, right? The little girl and 2 sons. And him and the oldest son go out into this mysterious, misty, forested landscape.
Wearing gas masks.
Yeah, wearing gas masks, and only the dad returns. Yeah. At this point, you start getting little hints that this is a post-apocalyptic environment because the kid doesn't know what a car is, and the dad has to explain it to him. But then later, what Andy's referring to is a gadget that's found in the 3rd act, I think, or the late 2nd act, where it's a thing that makes the monster sound, and it's like some sort of steampunky.
It's like a growl, but it's very similar to what the monster sound makes. So I've never got the figured out if it was the dad the whole time or if there was a monster.
Right. And it complicates things because there's an encounter about halfway through with 2 other people, this old man and his, at the time they think is his son or just companion. And
that was a pretty shocking scene.
Yeah, and it felt that way watching it too, didn't it? You're like, oh, more
that
people.
They ran into the people? Yeah.
Yeah.
Felt like the others on Lost.
Yeah, it really did. It was a great moment in the movie.
Because it's just up until this point, it's just the father and the kids, and
And the brother.
Well, yeah, all
Yeah.
3 kids, and then it's just the 2 kids. But then all of a sudden they encounter people, and you're like, all right, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
We didn't get anywhere though.
Yeah. And the little kids are not allowed to leave the house at all.
They're locked up in the cellar to sleep.
I like that in the beginning where the dad's like, it's time to sleep, and the kids go down to the basement and he locks them in.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a different type of movie where it was like a hostage type situation.
Yeah, it definitely had that vibe.
Unless he's keeping them there with the threat of this monster that isn't real.
Like 10 Cloverfield Lane kind of situation.
It's a Cloverfield.
I feel like he used the monster as a way to keep them in, and because something did happen. There's some sort of
society ending event. Yeah.
Yeah, because even the passers-by, they say, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And they take their masks off.
Yeah, I found that kind of interesting because it does. You're right, Liz. Like, it definitely feels like something had to have happened, because if they had never met those other people, you could easily say, yeah, this is a post-apocalyptic thing. But like, there's so many loose ends.
The people they meet are also dressed in rags and starving.
Yeah.
So
it reminded me a lot of the road.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's very similar. That it takes place in this time pocket where it doesn't say what happened or where it's going. And this movie reminded me very much of The Road.
Yeah, it's kind of extra creepy in that there is no authority, like official authority figure of any kind. You don't know if the dad's sane.
Yeah, you don't.
And drunk.
Right.
He's a drunk. Yes, you don't know what his real intentions are. Is he doing this to be evil, or is he doing this because he wants to save their lives? You don't know his. But all of a sudden, you find out he was a puppeteer.
Yeah.
What is that all about?
I think it's like a metaphor that he's a puppet master.
Yeah, he's controlling
the kids.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but it was a little out of left field.
Yeah, it was.
All of a sudden,
he's like a Geppetto.
All of a sudden,
and he has
brings
like a whole
out
workshop upstairs.
marionettes.
You know what?
He's got like.
I mean, he
ventriloquist eyes.
probably was in his former life, he was a puppeteer.
I know, but you have to admit it's real strange. All of a sudden, to introduce into the movie.
But to be fair, to be a puppeteer, you gotta be kind of strange.
That's true.
It's funny because I just saw that other movie called All You Need Is Death. And one of the characters in that is also a puppeteer. And it just feels like it's a contemporary to this movie. And I'm like, what are we saying about puppeteers, people?
I think we're saying bad stuff.
Jeff Dunham. What have you done? Yeah,
Is the puppeteer community gonna have a reckoning?
they are. But if they give away that he's a puppeteer too early, it robs you of the moment when they reveal the first marionette, and for a moment you think you're seeing a monster standing in the darkness, kind of. Like it's just creepy.
That was a very creepy moment. When
there are a lot of like dream-like sequences from the boy's perspective.
Yeah.
So it also makes you question what he's seeing is real too.
Yeah.
He's kind of like an unreliable narrator.
You're like, is the boom operator really standing there?
Did anybody else notice that?
Oh, did you guys?
There's a whole ass boom operator. You even see the side of his face.
Yeah. You see his arm. He's in the top left quadrant of a very dark scene, but he's plainly visible.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a shocking error considering the quality. This movie is, I think, a very high quality
Very
movie.
A24.
I feel it was very well made.
Yeah.
The sound design was great. The lighting was great.
I know the guy who did it. I can tell you what he looks like.
You knows what he looks like?
No, I mean, we saw
okay.
the sound guy, the boom operator, whatever.
It's like, sound guys? No, look at you.
Yeah, we're moving up in the world. We know guys who do sound. We know guys that clean the floors of porno theaters.
We do?
Sure.
Oh.
We're those kinds
I
of
would
people.
love to. If you're one of them, hit me up. I bet you have stories. Gross ones, but stories.
No, but the boom operator was a shocking moment. And Amy, it was listed in the goof. You found it in the goofs already.
There's no trivia
IMDb.
for this movie, but there is a goof listed.
It's one
on
goof.
It's just
IMDb.
one goof.
It's just the one goof.
Otherwise, it's perfect.
We haven't even talked about our little girl character.
Adorable and so sad.
It's
Luciana.
it's a very bleak film.
It is a very bleak film. She's, I think, has asthma, is what they're insinuating, where she's getting some sort of backwoods version of a breathing treatment.
Felt like consumption.
Yeah, I think it's just like bad health because
Tuberculosis.
like they're not eating very well. She's not getting outside.
Yeah, the all eating is up there, the scraps, like the deer.
They're just eating what's left of Logan Paul's competitor to Lunchables.
They're eating all the meat you threw away.
Yeah, that's all the stuff that's left.
Oh man,
Did you hear about that?
Think of all that meat, all the meat post-apocalyptic people could have had.
Yeah.
They would love my trash can right now. It's old, but it's in there.
Yeah.
That's another question I had.
Standards change, don't they?
They're surviving on scraps and whatever they can scrounge up. But where's his dad getting all this alcohol from?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he makes it.
Does he make it?
He's
I
Okay.
think
Still.
he's still in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just it's just refill balls.
What do you think?
And,
He
you
had
know-
like a label with his picture on it?
But toward the end, he kind of comes to a reckoning and drops the balls in the sink.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you think that was him sobering up?
Yeah,
It's a funny moment to choose to sober up.
that's when the son and the took the girl took them from the house.
They ran away.
Yeah,
Oh,
Briefly.
so he was thinking this would never would have happened. Was I sober? Maybe.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that, there's that moment when they've taken in the old man who reminded me a lot of Gargamel from the Smurfs for some reason, and the young lady
it's not
later
the-
revealed.
It was his look, and he had that long robe on.
Yeah, he had kind of like a wizardy kind of look about him, and but they get that basic human. We're starving to death, so yeah. Then the dad's like, okay, you can eat and stay.
He's
this
decent
once.
enough to let him in, even though, it is dangerous.
Yeah.
Trust strangers. Turns out it was dangerous to trust these strangers.
Yeah, it felt very much like The Walking Dead. How they
Yeah.
always affirm the
He
worst.
shoots around the fucking head.
He
Yeah.
does.
Right next to his daughter.
Yeah.
Because the old man suddenly takes the little girl hostage with a knife, and the companion knocks out the little
He
boy
breaks a whole fucking bottle over his head.
over his head. And so dad just fucking shoots him square in the head with his shotgun, which is messy. And that caused that little girl some trauma.
Oh, they could eat the old man.
Why didn't they?
Yeah.
I don't think they were ready for that.
Maybe he's stringy.
Yeah, probably
man.
super stringy.
But okay, so the whole metaphor with the marionettes is he's the puppet master of the kids. Okay. Then they smack you in the face with another one. And the little girl likes to find dead bugs and put them in jars
Yeah, they're not
and
always
seal
dead.
them up. And
They
sometimes
look
they're
like
not dead. So there's another metaphor.
She's
They're
murdering
trapped.
bugs.
And yes, that's the metaphor.
She's a bug killer.
Being trapped, being forced into
Yeah.
a small enclosed space.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, maybe I get it.
Yeah. I mean, it is a stark commentary. It's like people can't survive without clean air and food. And you know what? We'll go to any lengths to meet those two fucking basic things. And that's all it is, I think. It's like the Happening world. Somebody's lemon drink is being
Ma'am,
eyed.
no.
Yeah.
So, is it implied that the dad hit the oldest son?
That's definitely
I
implied.
think- Yeah, I believe that he took the son out and something happened to where he just took him out.
See, I thought he may have run away. Successfully gotten away.
Because the companion says, like, I saw Marcos's body.
Yeah,
he's
he
dead.
said he was definitely dead.
But it's revealed that Marcos wanted to run away with the brother and sister away from the cabin. So I think maybe the dad, somehow found out about it and killed him to keep his other two kids there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It feels like that's what the writer meant. Yeah. Like, I think the writer wanted you to be unsure of a lot of stuff.
Like everything.
I don't think definitive answers.
Except for how the kids felt.
Yeah. I don't need
that I got.
Movies spoon-fed to me, like story-wise, but I need something to go off of.
Yeah.
I did like, it did build tension and it built a mood, but it just left too many questions open for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I agree with it. It is very atmospheric.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It was really tense. It was a slow burn.
Yeah.
And it did not really hit the landing, but I feel like it was a good set piece.
Yeah. That's a great way to describe it.
It was sparse.
Yeah.
It's better. I liked it more than It Comes at Night. I know, that seems to be the movie everybody's comparing it to, but I think this was a better movie than that.
I just need to know more definitively what the dad's intentions were.
Yeah.
And
you'll never know.
Because you believe you have discovered the sound maker, right? You believe you have found the origin of the monster sounds.
Yeah, because the dad's room is locked up at all times, and he always says, "Don't go in there." And
the attic's hidden away too.
And the boy finally breaks into his room and finds the secret puppet workshop and the sound maker thing.
The sound maker thing. Now, okay, so we think, there's not really a Cloverfield. Boo, because that's not as fun. But then later, the dad is nowhere near the sound maker to crank it to make the sounds, and you hear the monster sounds.
You hear the sound of someone cranking it in the distance.
There's multiple sound makers.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of cabins and a bunch of dads keeping their kids hostage.
Just cranking it.
We do act in patterns as a species, man.
So the movie was then implying that there may be a real monster.
Yeah, and they also found the companion dead, clawed by some beast. Or it's just a wolf that wants to eat them because it's hungry too. Because a wolf
hungry
keeps
like the wolf.
Yeah, hungry like the wolf, man. They smell like a sound. Lost and they're found. You got me all distracted now.
Oh, you
was it a wolf?
Duran Duran? It could have been. It could have been.
Could have been anything. You guys.
It could have been.
I don't know what's going on in the world.
300-pound raccoon.
I don't know what the dad's intentions were. I don't know where the sounds were coming from. I don't know much, except that little girl put everything that anybody gave her in a jar.
Yeah,
it's kind of gross.
It was like her purse. Mm-hmm. There was hard candy in there.
It's a very ineffective purse because you can see what's in it.
Yeah. Our purse is supposed to make their contents invisible.
Well,
I don't like what people know what's in my purse.
Yeah, it's where I keep all my stuff you don't need to know about.
I feel like there used to be a trend of clear purses in the 80s.
Like backpacks, because we had to go through all of the potential school shootings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That helped.
and it certainly helped.
Talk about, like I said, it was a very bleak movie. Turns out at the end, the girl dies from her illness.
Mm-hmm.
The dad gets mauled by whatever's out there, and they're huddled in their basement, and you hear the sound coming toward them.
Yeah. It was a real bummer.
Yeah.
This movie gave you no light.
Life is pain. Football is life.
But even it was supposedly a wolf, I can't imagine the wolf making that type of monstrous sound.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't. It was one theory that occurred to me because a wolf does show up a few times to look through the windows at them.
Yeah.
Whether or not it was a real wolf or not, because it was a little girl who would see it and she wasn't well, and I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It was shooting an Alpo commercial or a blue.
The wolf is actually in the movie too. They see him.
Yeah, he was in a couple of spots.
So he was real.
I mean, he was hanging around.
All right, hanging out.
Maybe he was the boom operator.
Yeah, it could have been. He's the boom operator's dog.
All right.
But I liked it, but it wasn't satisfying.
It is very much not my kind of movie. I like a little bit more of given to me.
I need more payoff. Yeah. Anything
What
else?
about you, Lewis?
I think about 10 minutes more would have wrapped it up. And it was kind of, I liked it quite a bit, actually. I feel like there are places where it seemed hampered by its story, but it was pretty good. I give like a 3 out of 5. You know,
that sounds fair to me.
I'd give it a 3 out of 10.
Oh, Amy.
No, I'd give it like a 4.5, 5.
It's still a pretty good looking movie all around.
The kids were great actors. Like, all that was fine. So there you go.
All right, y'all. So what we do now is the algorithm. Algorithm Nation.
Algorithm's gonna get you.
The algorithm's gonna get you. Oh, boy. What did we get served up, Amy? We just watched a movie, wasn't it?
We watched a little film called The Barn.
That's right.
Anybody
The
seen that here?
Barn. It's like a low-budget indie film.
Yeah, like a
It's really
slasher,
fun.
like a supernatural slasher, about these kids that awaken a curse in a barn. You guys,
It's a barn.
In the barn.
It's like a slasher movie with 3 slashers in it.
Yeah, it's a
that
good
function
time.
together as a unit. And
Doesn't this have people in it?
it has Linnea Quigley's in
Quigley.
it.
I think I've seen the trailer
is.
before one of the Horror Hound
yeah.
screenings.
And I know the Barn sequel, Barn 2, did air during the Horror Hound Film Festival. So
Yeah, and they're making a third one.
Yeah.
And Ellie Church is going to be in it.
I'll watch the Barn 2. I thought the Barn 1 was a good time.
It fits in with like your Haunted Ween. Amy loves Haunted Ween.
It's a movie called Haunted.
Have you seen this, Lewis?
no.
It-
I just like dumb
It
stuff.
pairs well with the barn. The barn is one of those movies. Apparently, there's the whole story is they lost everything fell apart halfway through making it, and then everyone who they had hired came back as volunteers to finish it because they were having so much fun and believed in it so much. And that's kind of like that charming underdog
That's
story.
really sweet.
So it's fun
So why is it called The Barn?
because there's a barn.
There's a
That's the-
curse at a barn.
It's cursed.
A barn curse.
And if you go there and knock and say trick or treat, that you'll be killed by one of 3 slashers.
Why would you trick or treat at a barn?
Because you're not supposed to.
Because it's forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
Is somebody living in the barn?
The 3
The
boogeymen.
3 boogeymans.
Apparently.
Well, there's
The
a problem.
candy
Like the
corn
the lights
scarecrow.
are off.
Yeah, there's a scarecrow that has candy corn, razor sharp candy corn
okay.
teeth. There's a miner they call the boogeyman, right? Is that one? And then what's the third one again?
Well, then why did you start if you didn't know? Because I don't know.
It was the third one was hold on, I got it.
Vampin'.
Oh, the third one just had like you have a bag over his head or some shit.
No.
Let's just go with that because it's gonna take them forever.
Bag had candy corn teeth.
Oh,
So-
Ari Lehman's in it as a heavy
So
metal
yeah.
show
is it
host.
kind of like a kid, more geared toward kids?
Teens.
It's feels like a teeny bopper kind of movie.
Yeah.
But
I had a great time.
It's aimed at
Adults.
teenagers
At
versions
heart.
of us.
Yeah.
It's aimed at like middle-aged people that never grew up, I think would be.
So it's like the movie you would have made as a like 80s kids would have made.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Yep.
If oh, go ahead.
Good.
I was just going to say, if you're looking for something for your 31 for 31, which we'll talk about here, but if you don't want to do our thing, then you can watch this. That's all.
I watched a few days ago a movie that I'd not heard of, but so if on Netflix, it's an Adam Sandler movie called Hubie Halloween.
Oh, I saw
Oh,
that.
yeah.
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 I've never seen it.
It was stupid, but it's pretty good. It's pretty funny.
It's like Ernest Scared
Yeah,
Stupid
it's-
for the
it's-
next
It
generation.
was like it reminded him of he has this character called Canteen Boy.
Canteen Boy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was him as a movie,
Yeah.
Oh.
and during Halloween, it's pretty stupid, but it's pretty funny.
It's a good time.
I mean, for what it is, it's enjoyable. But like, I'm just not an Adam Sandler fan, so I didn't really care for it.
I'm not either. I'll probably stay
Yeah, you
away.
might not like it. Amy.
I don't know how to have fun. Relax.
It's brainless. It's
don't know
really
how to do
brainless.
Brainless, yes.
Yeah. It's kind of wholesome.
Yeah, it's very like a very 80s feel to it.
Yeah. But if Amy, you do like garbage too. So there is a garbage quality to it that you might enjoy.
Maybe I need to revisit Adam Sandler.
I think she likes unintentional garbage.
I like sincere
Camp.
garbage. Yes.
But like when you're aiming for garbage.
Then I can't.
Yeah.
Then I can't with you.
You have any fresh picks?
Things I watched, I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like anything new?
I watched Lisa Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, I want to see that.
Because I had a encounter with Cole Sprouse at Horror Hound. That was just on the same
When you
room
say
with
an
him.
encounter, it makes it sound
You were in the
sexual.
same room with him?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Me
like
too.
no, because we know a lot of people that run the convention.
Yeah.
So like I was hanging out with them, and they said they were going to go back to the green room to chill for a little bit, and they said, I just tagged along, and we're just sitting there back there, enjoying all the snacks for the guests.
Oh yeah, free snacks.
Dunkin' Donuts out the ass.
Oh really?
Good.
I'd come to more of these kind of parties if I knew there were donuts there.
So we're just chilling, having some donuts, and Cole Sprouse just walks in.
With an itty bitty waist.
The round thing in my face. No, I saw some lady sitting at a table by herself counting like piles of money.
Yeah.
And then I was like, damn, bitch. And then he walks in like a couple minutes later, and I guess she's his handler.
Yeah.
Oh, but he raked it in.
Is it the
good
Sweet
for
Life?
him.
With the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody?
Yeah. Sweet life, man. The sweet life of Zach and Cody.
But also Catherine Newton was at Horror Hound too, so they had like a Lisa Frankenstein panel at the convention, which I didn't go to because
you didn't know yet.
Yeah, and
You had to wait
also
to
like
see?
apparently it was packed to the gills.
I'm
Yeah, I
sure.
bet.
Yeah.
They both kind of have a little bit of a cult following.
I bet there's a whole new like subset of people going to Horror Hound now because of Cole Sprouse.
Yeah. And I got also my friend's daughter. She's a big Cole Sprouse fan, and I waited in line with them for a little bit. And it reminded me of when Norman Reedus was at Horror Hound.
Oh man.
Yeah.
The big frenzy and all the ladies prepping
Oh
themselves.
my God.
and
So
spraying,
much perfume.
like, yeah. But this was a different type of smell this time because when Norman Reedus was there, it was a bunch of probably middle-aged ladies, and they were
Yeah.
putting on their
White diamonds.
or Gianate or something. So, or like a wind song.
Oh my God.
It's always on my
Remember, like,
mind.
department store fragrances.
Yeah.
That was
Charlie.
Charlie.
That was the Norm Reedus experience, but for the Cole Sprouse experience, it was more like very sweet smelling
Vanilla
candy.
Fields.
Yeah,
Oh God.
that's old lady. But
We're old.
that's old lady.
Sugar cookie smell.
It's like exactly that type of stuff, fruity, like sweetie
Yeah?
stuff.
Yeah.
It was cute to watch all the girls like kind of geek out.
Yeah.
But the movie, not for me. Let's
Not
just
for
put
you.
it that way.
Too young.
Yeah.
That Lisa Frankenstein?
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
I was thinking the whole time, like it's not for me. But even if it's not for me, the movie still has to be good, right?
Well, I mean, if it's real narrow targeted audience, man, it just might not connect.
Yeah,
it won't.
but it was just
My
a mess.
girlfriend liked it.
Yeah. I feel like it's very definitely aimed toward women.
Yeah.
But it just needed more of a story. It was
Yeah.
just an excuse to, hey, look, I think they came up with the name first and then wrapped a movie around it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Lisa Frankenstein,
It's
that's
not-
cute.
It's not a sequel to Young
Yeah.
Frankenstein.
So it's not for me, but also it was not a good movie.
The
I
comic
think that they thought was like Lisa Frank, the
She was a fashion
Yeah,
designer.
no, it
right?
was the Notebook girl. You know, like the
Stickers.
school stuff,
Yeah.
like Trapper Keepers, the
Fucking
folders,
unicorns and
you know,
rainbows.
Yeah.
the neon,
see.
like the pastel neon look with all the little animals. That's why it was set.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, that's why it was set in the 80s because the name.
It's a play on words.
Yeah, it's a play on
I
Lisa
have no
Frank.
idea. I didn't know that. Going in now, maybe I'll love it because I know that. I'll be like, this is fucking brilliant.
My girlfriend, she does not like horror movies for the most part, but like this one and Megan, she liked those quite a bit.
Yeah, Megan was really good.
So there's something I don't understand why people like her like them.
If we knew that, we'd be making money. Money!
And instead we watch The Barn 2.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
barn.
The Barn too.
By the way, if you haven't seen Love Lies Bleeding, it is so good. If you like noir movies, it's that one by the director did Saint Maud, which was really good too.
Freddy told me about it, and he said it was grimy.
It's a super grimy,
The
gross
Love Lies
movie.
Bleeding or St. Maud?
Love Lies
Well,
Bleeding.
both of them are kind
Okay.
of grimy, but Love Lies Bleeding is the one I was. It's and Ed Harris wears like really crazy hair extensions in it, and he looks hilarious.
It's on HBO Max, right?
Yeah, you can watch it on Max.
Yeah.
I recommend it big time. I thought it was awesome.
Heard it's real sexy.
It depends on what you're into.
No, I've heard it compared to like a modern day Bound.
It's a lot like Bound, but if Bound were a little gross.
Do you remember the
No, but
guy?
it turns like the lesbian noir movie.
Yeah, it has that, but it also when the movie is like Spring Breakers, kind of. As a matter of fact, there's a Franco in this.
There is a Franco in it. I forgot what I was going to say. Like I literally just broke down. What were we talking about?
Talking about-
oh, griminess of Love Lies Bleeding.
Like sucking on a dirty foot. That's something you'll find in Love Lies Bleeding.
Gross.
Which to me, that doesn't. That's like
it was
not
the
for me.
guy.
It's not hot.
It was the guy who went viral because somebody took his picture because he had his hands on his dick in the theater and he passed out.
Jerking off to this movie.
Jerking off to Love Lies Bleeding. And
Yeah.
the police had to come get him. Do you
That's
remember that?
Gross.
Yeah.
The
So
guy.
it's for guys that like to jerk off in regular movie theaters. But it's also a really great crime movie.
All right.
It's so fast paced and exciting. But then there's a TV show that's new that I don't know if it's going to be more than one episode or not, but it's called Last Bite Hotel. The algorithm served this to me probably because we watch tons of MasterChef.
Yes.
And it's like MasterChef if they set it in a haunted hotel. It's Titus, is it Burgess? Is that his last name? From Kimmy Schmidt, who's great, but he just feels like you watch this, he's like the ghost host from the Haunted Mansion kind of character that checks the chefs in to the hotel and then he sets them up for their challenges.
So it's literally a cooking competition
in an old hotel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which is kind of a cool idea. It's kind of fun, but it's also like kind of an uncomfortable concept.
What's that one?
That was also on Max. And
what's it called again?
It's called Last Bite Hotel.
Okay.
And it's a reality show. There's just one episode so far, but it has like
it's not like a scripted thing.
No, it's
no.
reality.
Oh,
it's a
okay.
cooking competition show, but
So it's an actual
It's a
reality.
cook-
Okay.
It's
do you
cooking
remember the show?
competition.
Did anybody watch the reality show Who Done It?
Yeah, it's like whodunit and cooking.
Where everybody, if you would get murdered. I'm using
was
air
it
quotes.
hosted by Michael Scott's girlfriend?
It was hosted by Michael Scott's girlfriend's husband. That's interesting that you should have made that connection.
What show is that? Oh God. It's got it's a gay guy.
There's a few of those on TV.
Oh, you talking about Traders?
Alan
Yeah,
Cumming.
straight. Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
watched that yet. I
Yeah.
need to because
That's
some of my
a pretty good show.
housewives are on there.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
We got a couple of things we need to discuss
Yeah.
as we near the end of the show.
What's that?
First of all, we do this thing. This is our second year called the Halloween League, where we being all the members of our Discord, put together a schedule, a 31 for 31, where we picked all the movies for you, so you don't have to think about it. Okay. Where we posted it on the socials, the Night of Living podcast.
I'll get to it.
We'll get it out there, so you can have
it's
it.
not October yet.
That's right. It will be tomorrow.
Oh my God, really?
I know,
Yeah.
right?
So it's like an advent calendar kind of thing.
Yeah, we've got all your movies picked out for you. They're all really fun, and it's going to be a good ass time.
Yeah, the first week we're kicking things off on Tuesday. That's tomorrow. With The Fog. Then Eating Raoul.
It's funny because there's a lot of fog in
been
the
very
darkness.
misty.
There is.
Oh, I thought you just meant in town.
It's the remake of The Fog, right?
No. You son of a bitch. Although I want to watch that again to see if it's as bad as I remember it, because I'm a generous person. Then after Eating Raoul, it's Birth, Rebirth, Exorcist 3.
You're going to go through the whole list?
No. And then we're rounding out the weekend with Shaun of the Dead and Undead. So it should be pretty fun.
Yeah. So just check our socials by tomorrow, and it should be up.
And you
Night Living
can
Podcast
print
on
that shit
Instagram.
out if you want. If you're old fashioned.
If you're old fashioned, it's going to use a lot of ink though, so I wouldn't do it.
It's a lot
It's
of
not
colors.
good.
Yeah.
And then, Freddie, if you want to grab the Beelzebub list. So thus ends a theme month. So now we need to pick a new theme for next month.
It's
Halloween specials.
Yes.
Oh
October.
shit!
It's
You're
always-
right.
September and October are the only months we
Never
know what we're
mind.
doing.
You're right. I'm an idiot. You guys.
You're just itching to grab something from that hat.
I
aren't
want
you?
to pick something new. It's fun. I like
Well,
picking
just pick it up.
themes.
Just pick it now, and we'll
No.
save for November.
You can have your
No.
November theme early.
We'll do it at the end of October when we're supposed to.
So, Lewis, before we get into the patrons, I wanted to make sure that we talked about your writing.
Yeah. Every week at lostsoul.com, you can spell that out.
It's
Yeah.
LOSTOGLE
dot.
Yeah.
COM.
Yeah. And, at Flick Attack, I do movie reviews there.
Flick Attack. That's a fun name.
Flick
Also
attack
made me giggle
sounds
a
a
little.
little masturbatory, doesn't it? Like, flicking the bean, kind of.
No.
I don't know why I thought
Sounds
that.
aggressive though.
I'm gonna attack that bean. It's not gonna know it hit it.
All right. Thank you so much. As you always bring it. We always have a good time no matter what, if we like the movies or not. Thank you so much, Lewis, for doing this with us every year.
The fans
Thank you
love
very
you
much
too.
for having me every year.
Yeah, I look forward to it every
As
time.
long as we're alive and doing this,
yeah.
we're doing it. You have a standing date with us.
One of us in this bracket here, one of us will die.
Oh, I think all of us are gonna die.
One day, someday.
In the next year.
That's not funny.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed.
That is not funny.
We're at that point in our lives where it could be. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's not hilarious.
But it's also worth acknowledging.
Anybody can die at any time, not just old people.
I'm just saying, look at us. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah,
I have enough
Death is all
anxiety.
around. Death is all around
it's
us.
lurking.
Once you hit 45, you're counting down the days.
yeah.
Guys,
Each day's a gift.
I'm gonna have to take a pill now.
Yeah.
At the end of every show, we say hi to our Beelzebubs, patreon.com/NOTLP. If you want to do that, that's where you go to hang out on our Discord, and you could have helped us pick movies for the Halloween League, but maybe next year. Matt, Branan and Emily, Jeffel, Iona Goodwin,
Oh, the great one.
Dr. Brian, Old Dirty Billsterd, Bill Fahrner, Blayne Yogurt, Jordash Jeans, Monica, Jeremy, Cassie, Gamora, Ernie, Dave, and Paul. Sorry, Paul. We forgot to add Paul's name to this list. He's been a Beelzebub for a couple weeks, but sometimes I don't check. You know what I mean? I'm not always looking.
We correspond in the way Count Dracula did, like in months.
Yeah.
Month chunks. Go back and read a month worth of emails.
It takes a while.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that's it.
Yeah, thanks again, Lewis. We love you.
Thank you,
I
Lewis.
appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
All right.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed.